Welcome, Pascale, to the Decoding Commerce podcast. I'm so glad we can have this conversation today. For the people that don't know you, maybe you can do a quick introduction of yourself and what you do today.
First of all, John, thanks for having me. I really appreciate this opportunity to talk about the business. I'm Pascale. I'm 58 years old. I've been in fashion for, let's say almost 30 years now. Mostly sales, and then also growing into strategy, and collection plans and so on, which is together working well with the team, but mostly sales. And yes, we're going to talk about it, but the sales has evolved a lot since I started, almost 30 years ago. So happy to talk about that with you.
Where did you start?
I started at Actionwear, which is now American Outfitters.
Yeah.
So this is where I started. And then I went to Scapa, then to Belhose, and from Belhose now at Clio.
Yeah.
But all Belgian branch, actually. So that's nice.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Is it true that Belgium is kind of a centerpiece in the fashion world?
It definitely is. Not only because we have Antwerp and we have the Antwerp 6 and the whole story and the best academy of fashion in Antwerp and also at La Cambre in Brussels. But yeah, Belgium is quite known in the fashion scene.
And so today you are at Clio?
Yes.
Is that also the latest name, if I heard it correctly?
Absolutely. So Clio Goldbrenner changed name just now 2 weeks ago. Which is a good thing after 14 years of being, yes, quite a market leader. It's time, to do a rebranding.
Yeah.
And we changed the name, and we have very good positive reactions for that.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Maybe for the people that haven't heard of Clio, can you do a quick introduction of Clio?
Yes. So Clio bags has been on the market since 2011, so 14 years. Clio Goldbrenner, which was the name of the company, started 14 years ago, and she introduced a bag, really like one iconic bag, and that was really a success because she was the first one to really bring a fashion accessory into the prêt-à-porter, so into the fashion stores. That didn't exist at that time. You had or the very big houses like a Delvaux, or then you had a Longchamp, but they were all in separate stores, and she really introduced the bag, the fashion, the maroquinerie actually in the fashion store, which was a huge success.
Crazy.
Yes, it was really amazing. Yeah. Then she started developing new other models, and that resulted into a big collection now, and also quite a lot of models, but also quite a lot of lines. We have a very big B2B network, and then we also have pop-ups and own stores and online and the whole shebang.
Maybe to get into the meat of it immediately is around all of the sales channels that Clio has today. Which type of sales channels do you actually have?
We have still a very big B2B network and community, which we really rely on and we really appreciate. Everything you do. I'm a big fan of B2B. I always protect them because I think that when you have a brand, if you want to have real success, if you want people to really understand your product, it's really important that these resellers, they can show your product really well. They can mix it well with other products. So we have a very big B2B network that's very loyal since those 14 years. We have our own online, our own web shop. Yeah. We work with Zalando. We are about to start with Minto. I think it will be any day. And then we do have some physical pop-ups and also stores for a longer time. We used to have 2 flagship stores, one in Antwerp and one in Ghent. Yeah. We closed them. One was due in Antwerp. We closed because our lease came to an end. Yeah. And we didn't really renew it. And then Ghent, that was a mobility plan and maybe not the right choice to be in Ghent. But now we opened a really great store at Brussels Airport together with Color Rush and June 21.
Yeah.
And so it's called The Wave, amazing store. I think the only and the first experience store where we really bring La Belgitude up to another level with these 3 brands. And it's a great synergy between us. So I think that's going to be a huge success. It's going to be for 1 or 2 years. So we'll see where that leads us. We're opening a pop-up in Knokke like we do every season. That's about to open next Friday.
Okay.
And we also open a pop-up in Brussels.
Yeah. So the pop-up strategy is a big one. And like the flagship stores, is there a reason you believe they work less? Or
no, I think if we could have the perfect opportunity to open, we're always looking. We're always looking to find like the perfect spot to open.
Yeah.
But as long as we don't find it, for us, the pop-up is really a good opportunity.
To dive a bit deeper into the role of each sales channel, what's the role of for you a pop-up, for example? What does it need to do? Does it need to bring in the revenue? Does it do marketing? Does it primarily service as a way of having online traffic go to a store that they can see the product?
I think it's a mix of all what you say. Mostly it's visibility, because even though, as you say, you can have a great web shop and you can do great marketing and you can have a great Instagram, a great Facebook account, a TikTok, whatever, but still being physically present and being able to show the products and to mix and match with others if you can, or if you can't, is really also a plus.
Yeah.
It also gives you much credibility to your brand. Oh, okay, they are physically, they have a store. So I think that's really important. Also, we really pay attention to then invite other brands, where we have nice collabs with, or nice little events, to create synergies in between brands. Therefore, to have more revenues, of course, because of course, when you do have, we found it, and we actually felt it also when we closed the stores.
Yeah.
We had a drop in sales.
A drop in sales and online also, or
yes, online,
general.
Because people were like, okay, where are they?
Yeah.
There's a little bit of a scare also. So having physical points of sales, it's definitely a must.
Okay, crazy. Yeah. And so in terms of pop-ups, still, is it the goal then just to break even on the pop-ups? For example, the store in Brussels Airport. What's the idea behind the Brussels Airport store?
Of course, it's to have
more than break even.
Yeah, more than break even. But also for us, what's very important is to create and to expand abroad. Clio is a very Belgian brand, very Belgian, and mostly very French and baby, so Brabant, Wallon.
Okay.
But we are looking to expand, and when you are looking to expand, you have agents or you can do your own sales. But it's important that people from outside of Belgium get to know the brand and they see the brand. So for us, that's also something that we very, very specifically are depending on, is to have a big expand on the export market. Also, we want to create more, we want to find a way to create more ambassadorships. So, when you have nice people coming to your store, it's good to say, hey, would you like to become an ambassador of Clio? We have programs that we sorted out, to make them. So actually, really expand and have great sales and have lots of visibility as well. These 3 things.
I'm going to ask later on around the role of the online store as well. But how does as you're the B2B expert, let's say, how do your B2B clients look at own flagship stores, for example, and these pop-up stores? Do they see it as a competition then? Or?
No, I don't think so. Because first of all, we're very transparent with it. So whenever we open something, the people who are in the neighborhood are really informed personally by me. And I will tell them that actually it's a plus to have a flagship store, because it gives more value to your brands. So I think it's definitely not something negative. I think in the first phase there might be some panic. There might be, oh my God, they are opening, but in the end,
they are.
It's compatible. Yeah. I'm sorry for my dog.
No problem. She wants to include.
Yeah, sorry.
She wants to say something around the B2B.
Yes.
No, so you haven't had because that's what I often hear about the backlash on the online store, to draw a bridge to the online store, is that the B2B might have some objections against the online store because you're going into competition and
there's more negativity towards the online store with the brand than actually physical stores. Because the online actually takes away a lot of sales. There are now people who shop, they go into the store, they try on a bag, and then they go onto the web shop of the brand and they will buy it there. So that's something. I'm sorry.
Finding good spots.
She enjoys it. So more competition in between the online than actually physical owned flagship stores.
Okay. Then maybe around the online store immediately, what's the role of the online store for you at Clio? Does it influence then sales on the B2B, for example? Again, we've talked about it might have a few ideas around the online store is a bit of a competition towards us, but anything else that you've seen, noticed?
The online store, there's no way around it. You have to have an online store when you have a brand. There are still brands that refuse to go online, and I think that's good for them. But at a certain point, you get to a space or a stage where you have to make more money, and you can make more money clearly online. You have to be also very careful about the communication. Same thing, to be very transparent towards your B2B customers and tell them, hey, we're going to do sales. We have this policy as well. I might jump in forward a little bit, but for instance, when we do sales, our B2B partners are always informed. We will inform them and tell them on this series, we will do 10, then we will do 20. So we want to be always in the same line as our partners.
And are they I'm imagining they've bought a few products. They calculate the margins that they'd like to do. And then you announce them, hey, we'll be doing sales on these and these products. Are they then mad of hey, people?
No, because we never do sales on NOS, so are never out of stocks. We only do sales on seasonal products, and the work has been done upfront because we, as salespeople, we visit our customers 2-3 times a season. We follow up their sell-through. So we know exactly what's selling well and what's selling less well. And then the commercial conditions is something that's key in our business. So when we go to our customers, we ask their figures, and then we can say, okay, this is a slow mover there. We can do a swap. We can change for something else. So we are immediately impacted by the sell-through of our partners. But we're here to help. It's important, that we are in this story together. We help them and they help us have more visibility. So it's actually a win-win. And of course, there are always people that will say, okay, you sell maybe too much on sales, but I think we have very good agreements, and being transparent and being open is important.
What's the type of market you're in with Clio? Is it? It's not high-end fashion.
No, we are.
How would you describe
affordable luxury.
Affordable luxury.
Affordable luxury.
And who are then the resellers that you're currently working with? And what I'm trying to get into is who are your? You don't need to name them, but who are the best clients, and why are they the best clients? And you've probably worked with tons of other B2B resellers, and some of them probably aren't a good fit. What are how can you distinguish good from bad?
I don't think there are bad resellers, but you have to be picky. So you have to make sure that your product is in the right place. That's very important. So you choose, for instance, we have a look at the brand mix.
Yeah.
That's one of the most important.
The brand mix is within their own multi-brand store.
Yeah.
You will want to see our...
So if we have a request for Clio, we will first have a look at the brand mix they have. If it suits us, then we will say, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Then we will visit the store and then we will see, okay, what's best to do here. And we can also put our customers in categories. So say, okay, you are a level 1, which is, and then you go up to, or you have bronze, silver and gold. And from there on, the packages can change. We can have corners in a few stores.
Okay.
We can have even exclusive collabs with the kind of store that we work really well with in Waterloo. So yeah, it's all about creating a good commercial relationship and partnerships. We see our shops as partners.
Yeah.
And it can go from a huge budget where we will really sit together and making the collections together. The sales is really important. Because everything has to mix and match, and we have to make sure that for 6 months they have the best offer and the best, even looking at other brands.
Yeah.
Or it can be a tiny customer, but she will have the right audience. She will work with the right people that will target us. And so it's actually the budget. Of course, we want the bigger the budget, the better it is. But you don't have to exclude small ones because
some of them sell through better than others.
And they can be like perfectly image, they can.
Is there... I was interested still about that brand mix because that's not typically things we, as more of an online agency, think about. Is what type of brands do you then look at? Because I suppose it's best not to have other handbag brands in there, or it doesn't matter.
Well, that's an interesting question because when we started, we were the only ones. So you had all the clothing stores, and then you had Clio Goldbrenner, because we had the bag and we were such a wanted item, and we were the it bag. Then other brands, clothing brands, starting making bags. So I would say Isabelle Marant is making bags.
Yeah.
Belhose is making bags. Deegan Voltaire is making bags. So you have now all this, which is now for us a concurrent.
Competitor.
Yeah, voilà, competitor. But also you have a lot of other bag brands that are now on the market.
Mm-hmm.
So we have our very loyal customers, where we stay all the time. And then we see as an established brand for 14 years, we see brands come and go.
Yeah.
And which is good for us because it's very important to have a look and to see what are they bringing.
Yeah.
What do they bring that we don't have? And that's how you can then evolve and become a better brand, actually. So now we have Clio, we have the fashion brands that have their own leather accessories, and then you have typical other brands.
What type of, except for then what type of fashion brands do you like to associate Clio then with? If you look at the brand mix, would you then say if we're affordable luxury, we would need all other affordable type of luxury?
Yes, actually, it can again be a mix, but being the most expensive one in a store is mostly not a good idea.
Okay.
Because then people are going to look for, little prices, and then you have to make sure that you don't become too expensive or you lose your credibility toward the other brands. So actually being on the same price level, you have the price and then you have the image. Sometimes it's better to have like a really nice, cool image store where you say, okay, we are in between this and this brand, and then people see you, because whether we like it or not,
it's important.
It's all about image.
Is there any surprises that you've had over the past years in doing those B2B or talking to them? Anything that came up that you were like, oh, I didn't expect that, but it actually works really well? It could, for example, be, like you said before, we've noticed that being the most expensive product there doesn't work too well. Any other learnings that you can share there with the audience?
I think really set up a personal relationship with your customers.
Mm-hmm.
Be a partner.
Yeah.
Be on his side, on her side,
Yeah.
and really work together and think together, because this is how you can grow. When you get too greedy, when you say, okay, we need to do more and more and more, actually it's hard selling is quite a job.
Yeah.
But I think in the end you will lose more sales, because now, 30 years ago, people came into your showroom and they go, okay, I think I sold it well. Yeah, I sold Clio really well. But in the end, they had too much stock. Now they come in, upfront how much they sold. So you know their percentage.
Yeah.
So you will say, okay, now I'm going to have to fight to have my budget here.
Yeah.
But then you also know that through your personal good relationship that you have with your customer, that upfront, you were able to talk to them and say, okay, this is not working. Let me help you. I'll take it back.
Yeah.
Let me help you with a marketing action. Let me help you with gifting. Let me help you. So, and this is how you will actually really keep the good sales with your customer, because even if they go low or high, you will still be able to have this.
So building a strong relationship with those B2B resellers, but because I've heard that before, and what I always wonder then is, can you actually dramatically improve the sell-through of that customer if you work well with them? Because what will be the difference if you put them on a shelf, or if you put them on a shelf a bit further?
You can actually, it's all also about being commercial and creative.
Okay.
You can have your commercial conditions, and the bigger the customer is, you can say, okay, you can have an exceptional end of season return. You can work with swaps, of course, but then you can also do exclusive collabs. So you can go to a store and say, hey, I really believe in you. How about we create an exclusive model? How about we create something especially for your store and our brand, whether it is Clio or another brand? And this will really help the customer and also the end customer, because they will say, oh, wow, they have a collab with that brand, with that store, which will give you a lot of credibility and a lot of visibility. Also work out with windows. Let's say, okay, I'll do you a window. We'll do a Clio or another window, another brands. We'll take over your store. We'll do a window. We can.
And sorry to get that. To understand the concept of that window, it's they often have a store with 2-3 windows, and then you'll say, look, we'll put all of our items in there, and we'll also pay for the marketing on top of the window.
Yes. So then you say, voila, our team now is silver, for instance. We'll wrap up the store in silver, or we'll wrap up the window in silver. And then you do that together with the store manager or with the buyers or with the owners. And you say, voila, this is what but of course you have to make sure that the other brands also fit in. But then you get your own window and you will have lots of visibility. You will communicate about it, they, and then you will have a very big buzz. You can do personalizations on your products. You can have your bags, your sweaters, your shoes signed by somebody. You can have artists come in. So there are lots of things
to do. Yeah.
You have to be very creative, and you have to actually think with them.
Is there? I've obviously often thought about what's the future for the multi-brand store. I wonder, how do you look at it? Since we're moving into, or not moving, but we're kind of deep into the experience economy also, where you now have stores with they organize run clubs, they organize coffees, they have multiple things, and just having a store isn't enough anymore, let's say. What's the future for you? How do you see it evolve? And your better customers?
It has evolved so much already.
Okay.
Unfortunately, quite a lot of very good stores had to close their doors, and it's not because they are not well
organized, or
but it's just because there's been such a shift in the market. So that's something. I still believe that the good ones and the big or small doesn't matter, but that they will stay. But you have to keep on going. You cannot say, okay, we're just gonna wait and see what happens. No, it's a constant daily thinking,
being creative.
Really be creative. But then you also have to make sure that you have the right tools, that you have a good, and now you have the story. The story is very important. Your systems that you are working with, the people you are working with, because the personal touch that's given to a store is still such a plus towards buying online. Although even now online you also try to have experience, and you try to deliver it with nice boxes, but still going into a store and have your favorite salesperson tell you, hey, I like this on you, or I don't know, maybe this one would look better on you. And as you say, create experience within your stores. That's also something, like offer them a coffee, offer them something.
The personalization, what you said before, for example, that's cool.
Very, very important.
I think that's been really interesting already on the B2B side. What I'm interested, and that's kind of my professional bias, let's say, as well, is how do you handle today everything in terms of like B2B buying? You visit them, or they visit your showroom?
They come to the showroom. So we have a showroom twice a year. And then we do have capsules in between where we visit them. But they all come to the showroom.
Is there like an advantage for them to come to the showroom versus you going to them?
It's much better to come to the showroom, because there you can really make first of all, a very nice, beautiful setup. You also see the collection much better. And in the showroom, we also immediately are creating like their store. So we will really merchandise the products well. So people can see, okay, yes, the blue and the burgundy, that goes very well together. The piton, I'm not sure. So that's true. You really create a very nice, beautiful universe. And also, being with them and, really talk about figures and numbers, and then make them a whole really nice, beautiful selection. It's very important that the selection that they make, that is fit to their store, because every store can buy in a different way. We have different lines. We have a more motion line, which is more sporty. We have a twisted line, which is more special, and then we have our NOS. In between these three lines, we do have customers that will not sell either and not sell the other one. So it really depends. You have to know your customers. You have to visit them. You have to know, okay, this is not working.
How the store, you've been there, so you know how the store looks like, the clientele of that store. Do they sign an offer, a quote? How do you handle all that?
So we have a very good system which is operated by Odoo. So they come into the showroom, the orders are set up front. And then you fill in the quantities.
They're gonna buy something. That's kind of the
normally they are, and normally you hope they will. It might be, but that's very rare that they come into the showroom that they say, I'm not going to buy. Then you have to become a hard seller and the shark that's in you. And then you have to say, okay, no, we're going to do this. Let me help you. Let's try something. I will just take a small selection, but we will do swaps afterwards. So you really have to make sure that they normally they don't go out of the showroom without buying. When they had a very bad season, it's possible that they come into your showroom and that they say, I'm not sure for this season, but then you always find a way to, unless really you see that the brand is not working anymore in there. So we have the possibility.
Yeah.
But voilà. And so then they sign the offer. They have normally 10 days before, and then they can have a look. It's sent through by mail. And voilà. And then you make sure that actually it looks good. Also the price range, that is, some customers will say, okay, I'm going to buy only under 300 euros. And then you go, okay, fine. Okay. Because then you know that this is, or I will only buy small bags, or only big bags, or...
Okay.
Yeah.
And is it, what I'm also interested in, so they buy once for then the certain type of collection. When will they buy back? Is it then every season, or will they buy whenever they have no stock anymore?
No, it's twice a year. So we do spring, summer, and autumn, winter.
Yeah.
And we do have a little bit of stock. We used to have lots of stocks, but now we have a little less, because stock is money. So we have to make sure that we don't have too much stock. Otherwise, we get into the sales system, which we want to avoid. But we do have some items that we always have on stock. And then we do have a B2B platform. So, and that's also something very easy. So you have a login as a B2B partner, you have a login. Then you can do your own order. You will also see the pictures are on there, marketing actions are on there. So it's actually a very handy tool.
Okay. Yeah. And whenever they want to, they can reorder something if it's out.
For swaps, it's still thing that they have to, when we do swaps, we say, okay, you can swap for that amount. It has to be season to season and amount to amount, so that they don't, but they can do their own order, but return we still have to do manually, but that's nothing.
Talking about inventory, when imagine they visit the showroom and they see all of the products available. Are all of those products already on stock, or would you still order them later?
Pre-order?
Yeah.
So pre-order, which takes, almost up to 9 months now.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, because we do produce in Asia and in India. So we need a lot of transport
it takes
time. So that takes a lot of time.
Yeah.
So no, it's on pre-order only.
Yeah. Okay.
We do have a system where they can reorder, but that's not the B2B. But
no, yeah. And so you have samples actually then in the showroom, and they then decide on the samples, and then you will go, okay, within 9 months we'll deliver it out to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. So now we finished, we had our sales campaign AW25. Yeah. We finished it in December. They will be, first delivery will be end of June.
Okay.
And we deliver in different drops. So we normally have 3 drops of delivery. And in between seasons, we also play with capsules. For instance, cow print is in fashion. Okay, then we will make a small production of cow print. Yeah. We will offer it or to the B2B or keep it exclusive only.
Yeah. Okay.
Online exclusive only, which is a possibility too.
Okay.
Like, for instance, now on the Brussels airport, we will work with a travel capsule, which will be really specifically for the airport.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. And so that makes the forecasting of the inventory obviously quite a bit more easy, or are there any?
No, it's actually more easy, because we will know, yes.
You know almost exactly to what.
We know almost exactly,
Order a bit more as the buffer for the B2B store then?
Yep.
And then for the online store, how do you forecast?
So we do the orders. So actually, first we do the B2B orders. Then we see what's best sellers. Yeah. Then we see, we always look with what we sell best on our online store, which can be different what B2B sells. And then we make up our budget. So we have our budgets that we make up for every line. And then we do the orders in a team. We do that.
Do you see big difference often between the online store? Is it completely different by?
No, it's not completely different.
Yeah.
But let's say that for the B2B, they might dare a little more. They might say, okay, I'll do this pop color. Okay, I'll do this. Because it's easier to show, and they also know, okay, we bought this in that collection, so that might be really easy. So there is a slight difference, but not Not
And so on the online is less daring, and so people see the images, they're like
staring, or also it's when you do it online, you have to make sure that the product is very well shown.
Yeah.
You have to make sure that your pack shots are done right, so that the navy is different from your black and from your chocolate brown.
Yeah.
So your product has to be very well shown. And also the images. We see that now with our rebranding. Only after 1 month, we see that the pictures, that the shoots that we've done now, that
they impacted.
Yes, it impacted on the sales. Like we have this one quality that we were not sure about it, but we have one amazing shot.
Yeah.
Well, it's almost sold out. So.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good advice for everybody.
Yeah. No, really.
What's the? How do you see the?
I'm just going to say also create something about exclusive, say we only have 15. We can do that as a manufacturer.
Yeah.
You can say, okay, I will do only 15 in this quality leather. You make a buzz about it.
Yeah.
You are sure that it will be sold.
Yeah. Okay. Also good.
Yeah.
What's the, if you look at the future of Clio, but also of other fashion brands that you've worked with, what's the future for you? I think we had a phase where online was everything, definitely during COVID. And online was a great platform to be on, and it would grow and grow and grow. I think now there's a big return, or we're stepping a bit away from it again, or not away, but we're recalibrating. The B2B, more from, let's say, from the past, now still really relevant. And then everything in terms of your own stores and these things. How do you look at the future of it?
When you hear the press and everything, the future looks bad when you talk about fashion mostly. But I think we still have quite some opportunities there. You just have to really think about different sales channels. You cannot only focus on B2B, you cannot only focus on online, and you cannot only focus on pop-ups. So you have to, if you have a mix of 3 of them so that people see your product, feel your products, experience your products, I think these are really 3 capital things to do. You have to also now, I mean, the pop-ups are like popping up like the term is. But it's true that when you go into really big towns like Tokyo or New York or Singapore or Hong Kong or even Paris, London and Milan, you see these amazing stores and you go, wow, how do they do this? So you can do this. You don't have to have huge budgets to have it, but you have to keep on thinking and keep on being creative and work with your budgets. Really important. Like, don't overexplode. Don't do whatever. Make up a good budget, stick with it.
And be creative
with that. Yes, absolutely. And have a great team around you. Every person which works in a company is crucial. So your marketeer is important, your digital marketeer is important, your logistic, your production, sales, financial.
Similar to your relationship with the B2B, then
absolutely.
You need to treat them right.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm glad you mentioned Tokyo, Paris, and the other cities. You've said it before, Clio is mostly a Belgian brand, but how do you look at internationalization, and how are you trying to tackle it?
That's something that we are struggling with at Clio. And it's a puzzle. It's actually something that we are still really thinking about how we can make it grow.
What's the first move?
Because the strategy that we have and that worked with other brands is apparently not that conclusive with Clio. Clio is so Belgian. So we've been to fairs. We've been to every fair. We've been to Paris. We've been to Amsterdam. We've been to Milan. We've been to Scandinavia. We've been everywhere. So you have the fairs. You have the agents. You have distributors. You can do it yourself. But if your product does not have the right image for the market you want to be, then it's really hard. So we do a lot of formations ourselves. So where we go and we listen, how do other brands do it? Either you are launched internationally immediately, or you keep your Belgian little small goods quality market, and then it's difficult to expand. But now, that's why we also did our rebranding to make it more international. Clio is short, is strong. So that's why we also have our store with the wave at Brussels Airport, which will normally give us a lot of visibility. And then keep on trying, keep on trying. Don't give up. You know, every season, I'm sure that all the sales agents will say, oh my God, here's Pascale again. So just keep on trying, send them samples, go to them. Also the big department stores like Le Bon Marché, the Bay and Corp.
Does that help? If, for example, is that that's what I've heard in the past. Is that the first good move, you believe? For example, convincing Bon Marché to work with you? Yeah. Everybody else follows in the B2B?
Normally, that's what's supposed to happen. It's supposed to happen. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So
that's cool.
Keep on trying, you know, and one day it will work. And that's why we also have different lines. So because then you can open up your markets. So if it doesn't work with the classic essentials, well, then you can try with your motion line and with your twisted. So
let's take the example of Bon Marché. If they look at your brand and your products, what's their incentive, except from the financial part, obviously, to work with you? Is it purely on commercial conditions? Is the belief?
They have their own model of working. So actually you have to work the way they work. So that's you don't have a lot to say to that. But I think it's these buyers also, they have to buy so many collections. So you have to diversify yourself. You have to just make sure that you bring this something different that your other brand won't have. Diversify image.
Be creative.
Image, service. And
is it for you then something you do on a yearly basis or 2 yearly basis? You call them up and you're like, can we sit together
twice a year? 4 times a year? You. And one day it will work. I hope. I'm sure. But So you have to continue, because it's not that because you try once that you will. You know, buyers are overwhelmed. When you talk to really important buyers, they receive they have over 100, 150 brands in store, but they've got daily 20, 30, 50
brands emailing, calling.
So why does your email stand out? Why will they open your mail and why will they say, that I like? And that's also something which change is that when you have a name, you have a brand, you have a concept, the first thing people do now is, I'll check them on Instagram. So you have to make sure that your image is coherent, is right, is right for your audience. Because if you target, if your image will be high-end luxury, but your prices are affordable, people will already be afraid. They will go like, okay. Voila. So
it needs to fit the details.
Yes.
And I was indeed going to, obviously, from my point of view, talk about the website there. They will probably also visit your online store and see, okay, what kind of products do they offer? Why are they bothering me with an email? Let's just quickly check, and then either they'll disregard you or they'll just include you. Interesting. Well, it's been a super interesting conversation, and thank you that I could pick your brain and ask you all of these types of questions.
Anytime.
For the audience, if they have any questions, where can they reach you?
I have
LinkedIn?
I have LinkedIn, absolutely, through my Clio email. Yes.
Perfect. All right. Thank you very much, Pascale.
Thank you, John. And Katie.
Yes.
As well.